After explaining the whole thing, he concludes in the next verse. Kshetra kshetrajnayorevam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti mokshancha ye viduryanti te param kshetra kshetrajnayorevam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti mokshancha ye viduryanti te param. So whatever was discussed in this entire chapter, briefly Bhagavan mentions in this verse. He says that ye, they whoever they might be, the seekers, doesn't matter man, woman, young, old, whatever be their background, the seekers who viduhu, who comes to know, who come to recognize, seekers who recognize, realize, who come to see. How? Jnana chakshusha, by the vision of wisdom, which they have acquired through the teacher, through the study. We acquire the vision of wisdom. See, jnana means this knowledge, wisdom. It gives us a vision to look, way to look. Knowledge helps us to look, to see at the right place. Therefore, knowledge is required before we can meditate. So, when we have knowledge, we can meditate properly. Knowledge gives vision. So, jnana chakshusha, with the vision of knowledge, when a person comprehends what? Kshetra, kshetrajnayoho evam antaram. The difference between kshetra and kshetrajna. That is the topic which was started here, and the whole truth is explained through this. So one who understands what is kshetra and one who understands what is kshetrajna with the vision of wisdom. The kshetra is all matter, and this matter is further, the contents are explained as 24, and this kshetra, these 24 contents are there in the entire world also. The entire world is made up of 24 contents, parts. It is there. Wherever you go, only where the life is there, then you will find other contents. Otherwise, only the 5 main things are seen. Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. But where life is, that consciousness start expressing as life, there you will find the presence of the senses. Some creatures, they will have 1 sense, some will have 2, some will have 3, some will have 4. Then even at a higher evolution, there will be the presence of mind. Then you will see the presence of intellect. Then the refined intellect. Ability to become aware of this awareness, to be a witness. Ability to witness. And that is there in a human being. And the ability to be aware of this awareness itself. So this consciousness and this matter, kshetra and kshetrajna, evam kshetrajna yoho evam antaram. As explained here, the difference of kshetra and kshetrajna, one who understands jnana chakshusha. Also, one who understands bhuta prakriti. Part of the kshetra is this prakriti, the avyakta, which alone manifests as all these various parts, as all the manifested world has come from this prakriti only. But this prakriti since it is seen, it is being aware by the consciousness, it depends on the consciousness. This is a subtle point. That which is seen, it depends on the seer. The object depends on the subject. Even now, actually, in the field of science, slowly, if you go into a subtler science like quantum mechanics and all, they say the perceiver is very important to comprehend that which is perceived. Some complex, actually, I really don't understand this quantum mechanics, but there they have said that the subject, one who is seeing, he can change that. What he sees depends on the one who is seeing it. It's quantum mechanics. The whole world is moving according to what the seer is seeing and what the seer is choosing. It's quite an interesting thing. So what is seen, we are witness. The consciousness, is witness of this Prakriti. But is the Prakriti real? Is the Prakriti a solid reality? He says no, it depends on the seer. Its existence is not independent. Its existence is not independent. Its existence depends on the seer. Just like dream. Dream cannot exist independent of the dreamer. The dreamer and the dream, they go together, but when one wakes up, only the dreamer wakes up, the dream doesn't wake up. The dreamer wakes up. Suppose the dreamer is dreaming that I am holding an elephant. In a dream you can hold anything. So just imagine you are holding a huge baby elephant on your head and you are dreaming. You are carrying it somewhere. And suddenly you wake up. You alone wake up, baby elephant is left behind only. You cannot carry it in your waking state. Why? Because it was depending on you. You have removed your support, so it has gone. Mullah Nasruddin once he dreamt, and his neighbor came to him in his dream, and he told him that, I had taken 500 rupees from you, and I am returning it. Please take this. He gave him the 500 rupee note. Mullah Nasruddin said, you had taken 1,000 from me. You gave me 1,000. I won't take 500, you give 1,000 only. And he was arguing. When he was arguing, suddenly he woke up. And he saw no 500 rupee note, nothing, 1,000. So he was very sad. His wife asked him, why you are sad? He said, my neighbor was giving me 500, at least I should have taken it. But whether he had taken or not taken, it would not have come with him. Because it doesn't have an independent existence. Its existence depended on the seer of the dream. Similarly, the existence of this world depends on the seer of the world. And the ultimate seer is that pure consciousness. It depends on ultimately it depends on that pure consciousness. So when I exist only as the pure consciousness, the world gets swallowed into me. But as a play, if I want to see the world, I can see the world. I can experience the world as a play, as a drama happening in front of me. Like Bhagavan Krishna, when he looks at the world, for him it is the whole drama happening in front of him. And whenever he doesn't want to see that drama, he closes his eyes. Like Lord Shiva, when he wants to see the drama, he sees. When he doesn't want, he just... So Shiva or Krishna is that pure consciousness. and in front of it only as though the whole drama is going on. Therefore, this whole thing is called Leela. Leela means play. So one who sees this Bhuta Prakriti Moksham, one who sees the freedom from this Prakriti and its creation of all this world, by understanding that it is all an illusion, all a perception, all a play, one who sees this through the eye of wisdom, Bhagavan says, Te yanti param, they attain the Supreme. They attain the Supreme. So what is revealed here is very sublime, the top, the cream of all the Upanishads, of all that is said in all the scriptures, the very sar Bhagavan has given in this chapter actually. एकदम क्रीम, इससे और ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं है. नहीं हमको और ज़्यादा चाहिए, ज़्यादा यही if you hold on to this, you reach your destination. So the train, I have told you which train you have to catch. I am train. Just sit in that train and go to its source, and you will reach your destination. Who said? The realized master said it. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says it. Nisargadatta Maharaj says it. Yog Vasishta says it. Shankaracharya ji says this. Koham kathamitam jatam. From who am I and from where I have come, you inquire. Kastvam koham kuta ayatah kame janani ko me tatah iti paribhavaya sarvamasaram vishvam taktva swapna vicharam. So bhuta prakriti mokshancha ye viduhu yanti te param. So those who understand the illusoriness of prakriti, those who understand the difference of kshetra and kshetrajna, such with the eye of wisdom, they attain the Supreme. So thus Bhagavan has given the very essence of all the scriptures in this chapter. So there is a Sankalpa Vakya, we'll chant that. Om Tat Sada Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Kshetra Kshetrajna Yogo Nama Trayodashodhyayah. Om Tat Sat. Thus Bhagavan says, it is said here, Sankalpa Vakya, it is Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So thus in this Bhagavad Gita, Upanishatsu, which is a Upanishad. Bhagavad Gita is equivalent to Upanishad. Upanishads are the revealed scripture, the ultimate authority about self-realization. Brahma Vidyayam, here is revealed Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of Brahma. Yoga Shastre, also the science of attaining this knowledge of Brahma and realizing our own self. It is revealed in the form of a dialogue between Bhagavan Krishna, who is the Yogeshwara Krishna, Yogiraj. He is the one realized master established in this truth. And Arjuna, the disciple, in the form of a dialogue, Kshetra Kshetrajna Yogo Nama. The name of the chapter is Kshetra Kshetrajna Yoga, because that it is revealed through this explaining the Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Trayodashodhyayah, the 13th chapter. In our Indian thing, 13 number is not considered bad. Some Western and all, it is 13, 13, Bapre. 13 is so beautiful. But here 13 gives you the technique by which you can become free of samsara. So it's the most fascinating chapter which has come to the conclusion here. But our yajnas have not concluded. Our study of Bhagavad Gita has not concluded. In this chapter, Bhagavan talked about the gunas. Bhagavan talked about Prakriti. Bhagavan talked about the Purusha. So the Prakriti with all its gunas are explained in much more detail in the next verse. Because our body, the mind, the intellect, everything which is made of Prakriti has got these three gunas. So the play of these three gunas, Sattva gun, Rajagun, Tamogun, when we understand, we will understand that everything is happening according to the laws of nature, according to the laws of Prakriti. And that pure consciousness is merely witness. It is just witnessing. I am just watching this play. While watching, I get so much identified, I feel I am the player. So how that Prakriti with its gunas play this game of life is shown very beautifully in the next chapter. So this chapter is concluded. We will chant 2 verses just to indicate that we will study it. Doesn't mean that खत्म हो गया चलो बंद करके रख देते हैं. श्री भगवान उवाच इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते एतद् यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानम् यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम. हरि ओम. ओम तत्सत्.